Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Hatchet House here in Washington, Indiana, where tonight your Jasper Wildcats are taking on the Hatchets of Washington. And I'm Kaleb Knepp here, joined by Jason Stamm. Jason, tonight, this game doesn't quite seem like it has as much riding on it as it has in the past, but still a couple of good ball clubs, and should get a good game.
Yeah, you're right, Kaleb. Obviously in years past, with both teams being in the Big Eight, it was always a Big Eight matchup. Like you said, and it wasn't a big rivalry, but it was one, and it's kind of lost a little of that luster, in the last couple years. But it's always two good teams that are here to play, and I don't expect anything less tonight.
Absolutely. It seems like every time these teams match up, you're bound to get a good game, no matter how good each team is. And this year, both the teams are kind of coming in with about the same record. Washington 6-4, Jasper 6-5. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at your starters. First for Jasper, at the guards, it'll be Carter Moondy, number 15, Grant Young, number 21, and Charlie Kabrick, number 25. At the forwards, it'll be number 51, Will Wallace, and number 55, Griffin Heil. And for the Hatchets at 6-4, they'll start a freshman, number 3, Cooper Wright. Also at guard, Bryson 90, number 23. And at the last guard, number 14, Zach Mann. Their forwards are number 12, Colton Stowers, and number 24, Cordell Turner. Washington in their home whites, Jasper in their road black uniforms trimmed with gold. As both teams get ready to tip off here, should be a great one here. And one of my favorite venues here in southern Indiana, the Hatchet House. So.
It is. I played a long time ago, and I remember coming over here for a long time, the regionals back when it was one-class basketball, which was way before your time.
But for those who don't know, I'm only 22. So.
Yeah. I have a lot of fond memories of this place coming in here, and there wasn't a seat to be found. So
absolutely.
There's a good crowd here tonight.
Yes, pretty good crowd, probably about 3,000 I would estimate. Washington controls the tip. At the top of the key, over to Bryson 90. He looks, he'll take the screen. Pump fakes into Cordell Turner, puts it up, and Washington scores the opening bucket.
Jasper needs to play defense the way they did the other night against Southridge. That was a pretty impressive defensive.
Holding them to 22, am I right?
Yeah, it was Jasper got up in there and really played some good defense, so they need to try to mirror that tonight.
Hopefully they can take a page out of Indiana's book from earlier today.
That was pretty impressive from the Hoosiers.
3 on the way, no good, rebounded by 90. Hatchets will look to push it. Stowers driving in, he'll lay it in. And we're going to get a quick timeout from Jasper. And we'll take a break here on 18 WJTS. All right, welcome back here to 18 WJTS. Washington takes an early 4-0 lead. Jasper will look to respond after they took their first timeout. Young will bring it up. Heavily guarded over to Kabrick. Kabrick looks inside to Heil, out to Young. Young will let one fly. Nothing but air, unfortunately. Not to start. You want to see if you're Jasper.
No, it wasn't. And, that wasn't a bad shot. Grant was open, and I don't know. He didn't look like he had his feet quite ready to shoot when he caught it.
Wright will push it over to 90. 90 drives. Out to Turner. Back to Wright. Wright works inside. Out to 90. 90 inside, puts it up, and another 2 for 90. Excuse me, those are 90's first 2, actually. Young will push it up. Over to Moondy inside. Kicked out to Young.
We got to do a good job of that again tonight with playing the inside-outside with Wallace and Heil. Heil's, 24's guarding him, and he's probably got 100 pounds on him.
Yeah. Jasper definitely has a little bit of the size advantage, as Young will be fouled. Let's see who they'll get for this one. It's like Cordell Turner will pick up his first foul. Young will shoot 2. And that one rims in. 6:14 to go. Washington with an early 6-1 advantage here. Second one long, no good. Rebound. Ooh. Taken away by Young. In the corner, pump fake inside.
There you go.
Heil. That's the look you want right there if you're Jasper.
That's exactly right. Kabrick did an outstanding job. He had a shot, elected not to take it, and got a lot better shot inside from Heil.
Washington with a little bit of height, but it's some young height, so Jasper with the definite height advantage still as Riedel let a three fly, no good. Rebounded by Jasper. Here comes, that's Moondy over, he'll let one fly, and off the top of the backboard. Stays in play, though. It's Wallace, or no, excuse me, that is Heil. Young will drive. And a two from Griffin Heil. That would be his 4th point. And just like that, Jasper only down 1.
Yeah, I think Griff's can be a vital part to this game tonight just because of his size and experience. You know, he's got a freshman guarding him.
Yes.
So we need to make sure we take advantage of that.
Turner on the wing. Cross to man. Hatchets looking to play inside as well here. Cooper Wright has it. 4:52 to go. Still Washington up by 1, 6-5. They're slowing it down a little bit here. Zach Mann. He'll drive. Puts up a tough 2. Good defense by the Wildcats.
That was a very good job. Forced him into a tough shot.
Moondy. Young thought about the 3, doesn't take it. He'll drive in.
I think he kind of remembered the last shot that he had there.
Sometimes, hey, as soon as you airball a shot, you start thinking twice every time.
Yeah, and you really shouldn't. You know, I mean, they're all good shooters, so you should be ready to shoot at all times.
Absolutely. Speaking of good shooters, Charlie Kabrick gets his first 2 of the contest, and that'll give Jasper an early lead. Stowers, tipped pass, picked up by 90 though. That's Zach Mann with the ball. He looks in the corner to Cooper Wright. Drives, runs into a double team, out to Stowers. Stowers will drive the baseline, and he'll get the foul. I believe we're going to get Will Wallace for his first.
Actually, Heil got that one.
Ooh.
They could have gave it to either one, I think.
Yeah.
Heil was the
From
one
first look, I thought
yeah,
they were going to get Wallace. Still early, not too much weight on the fouls yet as Stowers knocks down the first one.
Giesler and Noblet check in for Jasper for Wallace and Kabrick.
Stowers will have one more. 3:48 to go here in the first quarter. He'll knock it in. Stowers has 4 of Washington's 8 here in the early going. Young works on right. Over to Moondy, actually inside to Griffin Heil. He'll put it up an easy 2. He's got 6 already.
Yep.
Jasper's really looking to play through him.
There's no doubt.
All right, and 90 has it on the wing. Pump fake. Pump fake from deep range right there, but he can definitely shoot, so you have to respect it still. And 90 will let this long one fly. Long, no good. Rebounded by Jasper. Grant Young will push it up. And Moondy inside to Heil. Fouled. He'll have 2. Let's see who they get for the foul here. Colton Stowers picks up the foul. That'll be his first. Heil eyes it. First one is nothing but net.
Heil's a good free throw shooter for a big man. He's got a nice soft touch, puts a lot of arch on the ball.
And that's a huge advantage for a big man because you're going to get fouled a lot at his size. You know, guys have, I mean, they're going to bring double teams, and you know, they obviously have to play physical. So you're going to see a lot of free throws. If, well, we shouldn't have said anything.
The dreaded announcer jinx again.
We won't do it again. Don't worry, Jasper fans. All right, 90. Looks inside, pump fakes, back to Turner. Turner out to right. And it's going to be tipped, taken away by the Wildcats. Grant Young hops, or drop step, he'll miss. It's put back up and in by
Noblet.
That's Andrew Noblet, yes. That'll be his first 2. As he just checked into the game. Wildcats up 4, 2.5 to go here in the first. 90 has it on the wing. Over to Stowers in the corner, up top to Turner. Nearly a turnover. Grant Young almost picked that off. Hatchets being patient. 2:15 to go. Jasper by 4. Knighty has it on the wing. He'll take a long 3. Not quite. And I believe that's going to be off of Washington. Yes, Jasper ball. Looks like Will Wallace is back in, and Charlie Cabrick checks back in. So a brief break for the two, but
yeah, that's about the rotation that Coach Gable uses. He's got about 7 guys, and he'll use the 8th one every now and then. But
usually don't see too deep of a bench in high school.
Right, and he usually tries to rotate guys and give everybody a rest as Geisler's going to pick up a travel. Those are the turnovers that coaches will go nuts over because there was no reason to travel right there.
Turnovers will get you beat, especially when, it's not even like it was a good read by the defense, just picking up your pivot foot. And
the defense didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just an unforced turnover.
Yeah. Wright picks up his dribble, gets it out to Stowers. Knighty has it, closely guarded. He'll work right, kicks it out to Stowers. He'll drive, puts up a little floater, got it. 2-point lead for Jasper now as Stowers picks up another 2.
Jasper needs to do a better job on the defensive end of keeping those guys out of the paint. Quit letting them penetrate into the middle of the floor.
Cabrick has it. Inside to Young. Wallace for the Noblet. Noblet drives, puts it up off the backboard. No good, gets his zone rebound, got it. Offensive rebounds will get a team beat, but if you can get them yourself, it can make your life a lot easier. So a 4-point lead for Jasper. Thurston in the game for Washington. He kicks into the corner to Stowers. 3 on the way, no good. Rebounded by Cabrick. Up to Young. Just over 30 seconds to go. As Cabrick has it on the wing. Jasper with a chance to go up with a pretty good margin here by 6 or 7 if they can execute.
Yeah, they need to work their offense and get a good shot here at the end of the quarter.
Probably looking for 1. There's Wallace, double teamed. Ball's on the floor, picked up by Turner. Nearly a turnover, but Jasper will retain. Noblet in, fouled. He'll head to the line with just 10 seconds to go. So nearly turned it over, but as long as you can retain the ball, not hurting yourself too bad, they're going to have a chance for 2. Washington will have another chance here with 10 seconds to go, though. First free throw's good for Noblet. We'll have 1 more. Foul was on Dalton Thurston of Washington. Second free throw's no good. Nearly picked up by Jasper. They're going to push 5 seconds. Thurston out to right, 2 seconds. He'll put it up. Got it. And that's a good way to end the quarter for Washington. Not the way you want to end the quarter for Jasper, as you had a chance to go up by 6. Missed the free throw. Washington pushes it, cuts it to a 3-point game. So we'll take a break here on 18 WJTS. All right, we're back here at the Hatchet House. Jasper leads Washington here at the start of the second quarter, 15-12. Could have had a 6-point advantage there at the end, but, a missed free throw and Washington hits a tough shot, and all of a sudden it's just a 3-point game.
Yeah, that's the way the game of basketball goes. It's a game of swings. Like you said, it could have been 6 and it ended up being 3, or whatever. And
Jasper does have the ball to open the second quarter. Inside, Heil puts up a little jumper. No good, rebounded by Stowers. So we're just underway here in the second quarter. Washington nearly fumbles it. Stowers has it. He'll work right, drives in. Kicks it into the corner to Thurston. Cooper right. Over to, I believe that is 22 for Washington, new into the game. That's Chris Meredith. Cooper right. Stowers has it. Minute gone here in the second. Thurston works in out to 90. 90 drives, pump fakes, and throws it off of Heil, and Jasper will take it away. Kabrick has it, over to Mundi. Mundi works, over to Kabrick. Kabrick drives in, puts up a tough 2. Just caught the backboard, rebounded by Wallace. He'll put it up for an and one.
Got lucky there because he traveled after he got that rebound, but we'll take that and go to the line for the old-fashioned 3, possible.
Chance to make it a 6-point game. They're going to get 90 with the foul. He'll sink it, nothing but net. Will Wallace picks up his first 3. Cooper Wright. Over to 90. Thurston has it. 90 lets a 3 fly. No good. That thing was halfway down.
That was. That was
as close as you can get without making it, I think.
Pretty well. Pretty well.
Kabrick has it for the Wildcats. Up 6. 6:15 to go here in the second. Wallace, back to Kabrick. That's Mundi inside to Wallace. Wallace works. Out to Kabrick. Kabrick thought about it. Won't take it.
That was a good decision. So that what leads
now
to.
You get the better look, and nothing
exactly
but
right.
net for Kabrick.
And that's what you got to do. If you can do that right there in high school basketball, you can be successful by playing the inside-outside game. You know, we threw the ball inside, didn't force it, threw it back out, and ended up with a wide-open 3.
Meredith in. 90 drives, runs into a little bit of a bailout call as he was out of control.
Yeah, I think they're going to call it on the floor before the shot.
I believe so. Be on Griffin Heil, his second. Wildcats not quite into the bonus yet. 4 fouls on them. Only 1 called on the Hatchets. It's been a fairly clean and how many foul calls so far? As Jasper takes away Grant Young with the steal. Up to Mundi. Mundi. And they'll slow it down. Young thought about that 3, but Wildcats looking to be patient here. Grant Young will shoot this one in, nothing but net. The Wildcats are firing right now, and Gene Miller's going to call a timeout. Score is Jasper 24, Washington 12 here with 5:18 to go in the second. We'll take a break here on 18 WJTS. Score is Jasper 24, Washington 12 here at the Hatchet House as we restart play here in the second quarter. We have 5:18 to go. Jasper has been looking pretty good so far. Been patient, getting good looks. And
they've done a very good job on the defensive end outside of the first 2 possessions that Washington had and had ended up with easy baskets. Coach Gable called that timeout, and since then we've played very good defense.
Pretty much all of the shots from then on have been tough shots for Washington.
Right.
And Zach Mann will
just
take
like that.
Just like that. And that one will land on the out-of-bounds line. It'll be Jasper ball. .501 to go. As Young will bring it up. Over to Mundi. Back to Young. Jasper looking to be patient still here.
Washington looks like they've went to a 1-2 zone.
A little bit of a zone look as it won't work as Mundi hits a deep 3 right there.
That right there is the best way to bust a zone is to be able to hit those outside shots.
You hit a couple 3s against the zone and they might immediately come out of it.
Yeah.
All right, Thurston has it. Up to man. This Jasper defense has been relentless so far. Thurston, a little bit of daylight. He'll miss long. Offensive rebound for the Hatchets, though. 90 turns it over, taken away by Mundi, and he's going to be fouled by 90.
Yeah, in the first quarter, I had Jasper and Washington for 1 turnover each. Here in the second quarter, Washington's already got 3 turnovers.
That will lose you games very easily.
No doubt.
Young has it, over to Mundi. In the corner to Young. Back up top to Mundi, over to Kabrick. Inside, Wallace works in. Ooh, a travel call.
I don't know, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I thought he
bobbled the ball or lost control of it.
Yeah, it might have turned into a turnover one way or another, but regardless, it'll be going the other way. Right. Over to Man. Man has it. Looks like we're going to get an offensive foul away from the ball. 22, that's going to be Chris Meredith, his first. Jasper has it. Young at the top of the key. That's Noblet. Tipped. It'll go into the backcourt. Picked up by Mooney nearly. Cooper Wright came flying back to try and take that thing away. Cross court, Noblet. Up top to Young. Young.
The key to beating a zone is passing the basketball because you can pass it faster than what the defense can move.
Mooney. Young inside. And a good look there for Jasper. Braden Giesler with an easy two. And all of a sudden, this is a 17-point game. Not quite what we expected. We expected probably a pretty close one. But Jasper has looked very good thus far. Thurston.
Yeah, Washington's just went completely cold on the offensive end. And, I mean, I think some of it's got to do with Jasper's defense, but they also just haven't shot the ball very well.
Thurston in transition. He'll hit it. That'll snap an ice cold streak for Washington.
Yeah, that's their first 2 points of the quarter, I believe. And we're almost 6 minutes in, 5.5 in.
Looks like Washington might be turning up the defensive pressure a little bit here to try and force some action. There's Noblet with it over to Young. To Noblet. Mooney. Inside to Giesler. It's inside to Will Wallace. Ooh, they're going to call him for a travel.
And that's how you let teams back in. You know, you work hard to build a 17-point lead. Now you've committed 2 straight turnovers on 2 possessions. And, you know, you obviously on a turnover, you don't even get the opportunity to shoot the ball. So that's what helps get teams back in.
A couple quick turnovers, and all of a sudden the Hatchets have a little bit of life here. Still a 15-point game. As Stowers has it. Across to Man. He'll drive. Runs into a double. He'll pick it up. Turner. 2 minutes to go here in the second. Thurston nearly had his pocket picked. Stowers, ooh, taken away by Young. In transition here. Misses the bunny. And Washington will come away with it somehow. That's a missed opportunity.
Yes, it was. We had 3 guys there to rebound it, and they were fighting over it. And Washington come out of there with it.
Turner at the top. Wright will take it. A minute and a half to go. Man thought about it, won't take it. He'll work. Thurston drives baseline, runs into some trouble, and another turnover for the Hatchets as Young pushes it. Kabrick for 3, not quite.
Not sure I would like to see that shot that quick.
Yeah.
Couple passes and then that shot maybe. But
probably could have looked for one shot there with just over a minute as Man lets one fly. No good, rebounded by Young. And now we are under a minute. Probably we'll see Jasper look for one.
Especially if they're going to stay back in the zone and not put a lot of pressure on them. .45 to go.
Jasper still with a 15-point advantage. You know, I think that Vincennes-Lincoln game might have lit a fire underneath them.
Well, hopefully. They've played a little bit better. They played a little better against North, not a lot. But then the other night against Southridge, they played really well. And this first half of this game so far has been pretty good.
Under 20. Young has it. Washington applying a little bit of pressure, but they seem to be content with allowing Jasper to take the last shot. Young thought about it, won't take it. And looks like they're going to get Cooper Wright for a foul. Just 7.5 seconds to go.
That should be a bonus, I think. Yep.
Yeah, 1-and-1 coming for Jasper. Washington will have 7.5 seconds if, oh, he misses the front end. Man pushes it. Ooh, Probably a good foul right there, actually.
It is. That's an aware of the situation foul by Young. You know, they were going to get the ball down the floor quick and try to get a shot off quick. It was only 2 team fouls, so that was the 3rd foul.
Still 3 to give, so they could even foul again if they wanted to here. And Stowers will put one up at the horn. Nothing on that. And that'll take us to halftime. Jasper with a commanding 29-14 lead. We'll be back after this here on 18 WJTS. All right, welcome back here on 18 WJTS. We're here near the start of the second half. We'll run through the scoring here at halftime. First for Washington, only 14 points. That's 2 for Cooper Wright, 2 for Bryson Knighty, 6 for Colton Stowers, 2 for Cordell Turner, and 2 for Dalton Thurston off the bench. So they've been ice cold, turning the ball over too much to beat this tough Jasper team tonight so far. For Jasper, Carter Moondy has 3 on a 3-pointer. Grant Young has a 3 and also 1 free throw. Charlie Cabrick has 5. Will Wallace with 3. Griffin Heil with 7. Braden Giesler with 2. And Andrew Noblet with 5. It's been a tale of the turnovers tonight so far as Jasper's really capitalized off of Washington's mistakes. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Unofficially, I've got Washington for 7 turnovers and Jasper for 4. Washington only had 1 in the first quarter, and they had 6 there in the fourth quarter, or in the second quarter. So, like you said, Kaleb, that's played a big part in them getting behind by 15 points. And in all honesty, it could be more had Jasper not committed a couple of turnovers themselves. Yeah, they were up 17 and 15 with the ball, so they could have went up even more, but committed some turnovers themselves. So, yeah, interesting second half here. Can Jasper hold on as we get set to go here? Washington's really going to have to clean it up if they even want to have a chance of staying in this game. But Washington's got some guys that can shoot the ball. It could easily turn into a game again. Jasper's got to stay on their toes. So, yeah, there's no doubt. I think if Jasper continues to play defense the way they did for a quarter and a half there in the first half, they'll make it tough for Washington to come back. But like you said, I mean, they've got some good shooters. We just got to make sure we contain them and keep good pressure on them. I'm sure Coach Gable's looking to see if his team can really put them away here. Put them away here early and not give them any chance. As Washington will start the second half with the ball. It's man on the wing, up to right. He'll drive left, stops, out to 90. Jasper's done a great job of slowing Bryson 90 down. If he gets hot, he can really fill up the stat sheet. And he's only got 2 so far, I believe, yes. 90, he'll take a long 2, I believe, no good. So his struggles continue. Yeah, I mean, that was a tough shot. I mean, Jasper did a good job of contesting it and forced him into a tough one. All right, it's out to Heil. Heil thought about it. Looks inside. Over to Wallace. Grant Young back to Wallace. He'll work on 90. Spin move blocked by Stowers. It's going to stay with Jasper. So nearly a minute gone. No scoring here in the second half. Young will trigger it. Up top to Wallace, to Heil. Moondy. Back out to Young. That's what Jasper needs to do. I mean, you've built a nice lead. You need to be patient. Yeah, should only be taking good shots, especially when you have a 15-point lead. The only way you could let him back in is by turning it over and taking bad shots. And speaking of turnovers, gonna get called for a travel. I guess that official thought he drug his pivot foot. I don't know. I didn't see it. Yeah, tough one to see from here. But nevertheless, it'll be Washington ball. Minute 15 gone by here in the third. Cooper Wright works inside out to Stowers at the top of the key. Over to man on the wing. He gets it to Stowers. Up top to Wright again. Over to man. 90 in the corner. Thought about the 3. He's had a man in his face all night long. Every shot he's taken has been contested. That's been pretty much the downfall of the Hatchets outside of the turnovers. As Wright will miss a long too long.
Here come the Wildcats. There's Kabrick. Cross to Grant Young. Young pump fakes, drives, picks it up. Out in the corner. 3 on the way, no good. Rebounded. Offensive board for Heil. That was a grown man's rebound, but he turns it over.
Yeah, he should have took it up for the shot instead of trying to make the pass. So there's too many people inside there to make that short pass.
Stowers with a tough 2. Hatchets have not been patient thus far, but being down 15 can take a little bit of the wind out of your sails and make you take some tough shots, I think.
Yeah, it gets you to rush and get in a hurry.
Mundi fouled. Still no score here in the second half, but Mundi's going to have a chance for 2 here at the line. They're going to get Cordell Turner for that foul, his second. Mundi to the line. First one good. He's got 4, chance to make it 5. Second one, rims out, no. 5.5 to go here in the third. Washington up the court quickly. 90. Drives right, picks it up. Turner up to Stowers, over to Man will drive. Puts up a wild shot, no good. Rebounded by Wallace. Another tough shot. Ooh, as Jasper turns that one over. Well, you're getting Washington to take tough shots, but another turnover for Washington. That's how many turnovers do you have them for?
That's 8 for the game. Jasper's got 7 now with 3 this quarter already.
Wow.
It's not been a very well-played quarter so far on either side.
Only 1 point scored. Heil had a good look, I thought. He'll kick it out to Young. Young with a better look, though. He'll hit the 3.
And again, that's the inside-outside game. You know, Heil didn't force it in there. He turned and he saw Young open on the key or at the top of the key, and Grant had a wide-open shot.
Stowers drives in, puts up a floater, rims out, no. Rebounded by Heil.
Washington can't buy a basket.
Yeah, then
I mean, it's just, it won't go in.
Yeah, they need to be a little bit more patient, I think, at this point, because these tough shots aren't falling tonight for them. But then again, I mean, tough shots usually are tough to come by. Hence the name Tough Shots is Heil's spin. It's fouled by Stowers from behind. Stowers has 2 now. Griffin Heil go the line. Wow, what a bounce right there.
Yeah, that was from here you could tell it looked like it was off from the minute he shot it, and it still found a way to go in.
I think that made up for us jinxing him in the first.
Yeah, probably.
So that'll push the lead to 20, chance to make it 21 here. And he got it. Yeah, he's going to go to the bench, though, as Braden Giesler will check back in. (35-14) Jasper, 4:07 to go here in the third. Man in the corner to the right, excuse me, to right. He'll give it to Man at the top. Works it in and turns it over, taken away by Giesler. Giesler pushing it in transition. Kicks it out. Oh, inside, easy look for Will Wallace. What a find by Grant Young. 37-14 now.
Jasper's done a very good job on nining tonight. You know, there he forced him into a tough shot. Noblet's been guarding him some. Kabrick's been guarding him. They're basically playing no-help defense.
And a 3 in the corner from, that is Andrew Noblet. So that's going to force a Washington timeout. This one's getting ugly. Washington trails 14-40 as Jasper is looking very good right now. And we'll take a quick break here with 3:25 to go here in the third here on 18 WJTS. Welcome back here to Jasper Wildcat basketball here on 18 WJTS. The Wildcats looking strong here as we come back with 3:25 to go here in the third quarter. And Jason, it's been all Wildcats here from basically the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, it has. You know, Washington scored 2 points in a quarter and over a half. I'm not sure what happened there, but
I thought they might have turned it over again.
Well, I did too, and Coach Gable got up and was questioning, and I don't know if the official, I don't know what happened. I didn't see it. But, yeah, I mean, Jasper's playing good defense. They're forcing Washington into some tough shots, but, you know, and then Washington, even when they do get an open look, they're not able to hit it.
Yeah, I would say there's another tough contested shot. That's about all Washington's had tonight. Is usually don't see Jaden Meredith taking too many shots for the Hatchets. Thurston finally ends the Washington drought. So he'll take a nice pull-up two on the baseline. Jasper quickly in transition. 3 on the way, and answered right back by Andrew Noblet. Gene Miller wants another timeout. That was not a good transition defense, especially after you scored. Not really even transition, just.
Yeah. Coach Miller's, he's had enough. He's emptying the bench. He's not happy with any of the guys that are playing. So
as a team, if you empty your bench at this point in the game, it's usually not a good sign. But
yeah,
it's 43-16 now. I mean, this has really kind of gotten out of control. Not what we expected, but it's a credit to Jasper because they've been tough as nails on the defensive end, and they've capitalized off the Washington turnovers.
Yeah, there's no doubt, you know, and I think to Gene Miller's point there, you know, they took a tough shot down here, but they didn't hustle back on defense and give Jasper a wide open 3. And you know, Coach Miller's been doing this for a long, long time, and he's not gonna sit here and watch that. He's gonna have 5 guys out there, even if it's the second 5. He's gonna have 5 guys out there that want to hustle and play hard.
A lack of hustle will definitely drive a coach insane. It's Washington is basically a complete new 5 out there. It's right now, to take a look, but that's Chris Meredith that's going to turn it over. Grant Young brings it up for Jasper.
And here, as from Jasper's standpoint, you can't let up. You're not playing your opponent. You're playing to score and to keep the game rolling.
Exactly.
Don't let up just because you've got 5 subs in there.
3 on the way from Noblet. He'll hit another one.
Andrew had a game like that, I don't remember where it was, but shot the ball really well from the 3-point line, just like he is tonight. And if he gets hot, he's a very good shooter from out there.
Washington now looking at a 30-point deficit and another turnover taken away by Grant Young. Of course, we don't have the individual turnover like players that force turnovers, but Grant Young's probably forced about 4 or 5 of them tonight, if I had to guess.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of deflections or steals himself.
We're going to get a foul on Washington as Wallace is working in the post. Olson Krager will pick up his first as he's checking the game. Running through who's on the court for Washington now, we've got Peyton Miles, Chris Meredith, Brant Knighty, Xavier Frank, and I don't think I said Olson Krager, but a complete new 5 guys who haven't seen much varsity time this year, so that's how frustrated Coach Miller is.
Yeah, I'm guessing that a lot of these guys probably played some in the JV game.
I think about all of them did.
Yeah.
This might be the JV starting 5, if I remember correctly.
And it very well could be at this point. And, you know, this is a point where Coach Miller doesn't really care about the outcome of this game. He's trying to prove a point to his team.
Young thought about it. He'll drive. Inside, Wallace. Going to be, couldn't call a travel. I thought I might have saw that, but I thought he was going to get away with it for a second.
He's going to have to correct that because that's like the 3rd time tonight that he's got called for that now. Has he done it every time? I don't know, but, you know, if the official's calling it, you've got to adapt to it and keep a pivot foot.
Regardless, hasn't hurt Jasper too much, but you definitely want to clean that up, especially in a game like this at this point where you can pretty much kind of work on some things, but you definitely don't want to set a precedent by starting to turn it over. As Washington turns it over again.
Yeah, I've got them for 5 this quarter, and they've scored 2 points.
2 points. I think we might have them for 4 points since the start of the second. 20 seconds for Jasper here in the 3rd. They're going to look for 1 shot. Up 46-16. Noblet thought about it. 5 seconds to go. Kabrick inside. Wallace back to Kabrick. Kabrick will pull up. Got it. And that's how we'll end the 3rd here from the Hatchet House. Jasper with a commanding 48-16 lead. We'll take a break here on 18 WJTS. All right, we're back here at the start of the fourth quarter here from the Hatchet House in Washington. It's been all Jasper, to say the least, Jason.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Washington scored 4 points in 2.5 quarters, basically, I would think, roughly. And I have them unofficially for 12 turnovers, so they almost have more turnovers than they have points. Coach Miller did put some of his regulars back. Well, he's got some young. He put the 2 freshmen back in and the sophomore. I think he's got a bunch of young guys in there.
3 starters in right now for the Hatchets, plus 1 senior who comes off the bench. Actually, 2 seniors that come off the bench, Jaden Meredith and Dalton Thurston.
Yeah.
This is looking like it's going to be a chance for Jasper to kind of clear the bench here pretty soon and get some young guys some run, as missed 3. That's 33, Caden Ernie with the miss.
Yeah, Ernie checked in, I guess, at the quarter.
Now it's Stowers on the wing. Hatchets have been under tremendous pressure from the Wildcats all night long. I don't think they've had an open look outside of the first half of the first quarter.
Yeah, so they scored 12 points in the first quarter, and I think they had probably 6 of those in the first 3 minutes or 2 minutes.
Another turnover for the Hatchets. There's Kabrick at the top. Over to Noblet inside. Griffin Heil works on Turner. Kicked out. Kabrick thought about the 3, won't take it.
Yeah, right now Jasper just needs to pass the ball, keep the clock moving.
Yeah. Kabrick hits another pull-up too, and Gene Miller is not thrilled again by, I don't know, is the effort, or maybe he's going to just bring out a whole nother 5 at this point. It's kind of hard to tell with what we've seen from basically the substitutions so far. I mean, we saw a complete 5, which we believe is the JV starting 5, get put in at one point when he was frustrated, and now it's
he's obviously he's just scratching his head. He's probably trying to look to see what guys can do in these situations, getting some of these younger guys out there, get them some varsity minutes, and trying to prove a point to some of the older guys that, hey, this was not a very good effort tonight. And what's ironic about it is the first 3 possessions, Washington looked good. Coach Gable had to call a timeout. But since that timeout that Coach Gable called in the first quarter, it's a total different game.
Yeah, it has been. Washington had a few good looks to start the game, but I really don't remember an open shot since then. They've gotten impatient, just taking not necessarily bad shots, but everything's been with a hand in the face, and sometimes you have to do that when you're playing a really good defensive team like Jasper, but I would like to see them be a little more patient.
Jasper plays very physical defense. They're on you, they're bumping you, they're grinding with you, and a lot of teams that we play aren't used to playing against teams that do that. So that makes a big difference, a big adjustment for teams.
Can really kind of fluster some teams that aren't quite used to, a team that's willing, to go out there and play bully ball with you.
That's exactly right, and I think that's what happened. That's what happened the other night against Southridge. We got out there and we got after it in defense, and we've got Washington held to 16 points, and Southridge had 20, whatever it was the other night. So our last 2 games we've really shut teams down on defense.
It's really been a good 2-game stretch on the defensive end. And Evansville North held them to 46. That's not necessarily low for high school standards, but that's still a pretty good. That's a pretty good defensive effort.
Yeah, there's no doubt it was, and you put that on top of these last 2, and they've kind of picked it up on defense.
I think, how we stated earlier, that Vincennes game might have at least motivated them a little bit. You never want to lose to Vincennes. If you're Vincennes, you never want to lose to Jasper. If you're Jasper, you never want to lose to Vincennes. It's
right. That
age-old rivalry that both teams don't like each other, and obviously they kind of ran into a team that played pretty well, and Jasper didn't play particularly well, and you get beat, you learn your lesson, and it seems like they've done a pretty good job of bouncing back. All right, there's Heil. He'll be fouled by Turner. I have Heil for 9 points. Chance to get the double digits here for the big man.
Yeah, and this is another game tonight where he's just kind of had his way in there. I mean, there was nobody in there that can guard him.
He's seeing a freshman and also a freshman who's on the slimmer side.
Yeah.
And Heil's obviously
he's a man.
He's a man. And
yeah, and you're exactly right. I mean, that both of those things play into his success tonight.
Yeah. He'll knock down the second one. He'll go to the bench. 2 youngsters coming in for Jasper here.
Two freshmen, Max Butel and Logan Day. They both play on the JVs, both freshmen, like I said, and they've been in a couple of games this year so far, but none of them this early, in the fourth quarter. So they're going to get some good
good opportunity for the two.
Good varsity minutes, because I think, both of them next year will have the opportunity to be out there quite a bit on the varsity level. So, this is a good experience for them.
Games like this are huge for, the top JV guys who don't get much varsity run except when it's a blowout, because, I mean, the difference from a JV game to a varsity game is often huge. And just going out there and getting a little bit of experience is huge going into next year.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, Jasper's got 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and a junior on the floor. So, I mean, this is potential look at what Jasper's team could look like next year. So I think this is kind of it's turned into a JV game here in the fourth quarter, basically. But
a lot of the crowd has kind of filed out of here.
Yeah.
Few faithful Washington fans and Jasper fans still here. Obviously, if you're a Jasper fan, you have really enjoyed what you've seen tonight. Another timeout from Washington coach Gene Miller, as I believe that was Day with that bucket. So
Butel, I think it was.
Butel, excuse me.
Yeah. But Coach Miller's got to be about out of timeouts, I would think.
We've seen a good few, just I think, frustration timeouts. I mean, he's been around this game for a long time. This definitely isn't the first time he's had a team that's played like this. And, he knows how to motivate these guys.
These are good teaching moments for him. He called that timeout because there was something happened that he didn't like. So he called that timeout to make that point, as opposed to waiting to watch it on film or whatever it was, because he wanted to make that point to these young guys exactly what it was in that moment.
Exactly, and we'll see if Washington responds from this going forward. I mean, this has been a clinic defensively from Jasper. Meredith kind of thought about the 3 there. He'll get it inside to Krager.
That's a foul.
Going to be a foul on 33. That's Caden Ernie. And we were talking about this during a break, but we have gone into the running clock, the new rule in the IHSA. As you can see, the clock is still running for those not here and at home.
I don't know. I think it might be, is it 30? I think it's 30 points if you're behind by 30 in the fourth quarter. The clock doesn't stop for certain things like out of bounds there. And I'm not exactly sure what the rule is as to when it stops. Timeouts, I think it does, but.
Well, and for football, we've seen that for a long time. And, in football, that's
football, I think it's more of a safety thing than anything.
Yeah, you don't want – when it's a blowout, you don't want guys out there taking extra hits. Day for 3. A couple of these young guys coming in for Jasper looking pretty good. A couple of freshmen with buckets here late.
Day can shoot the basketball. I think he's going to be a nice addition to the varsity level next year. Obviously, he's a lot like Washington's freshmen, though. They're small, they're skinny. He needs to put some weight on. But that comes with maturity.
Yeah, that kind of comes with just aging, and obviously, they'll be in the weight room more as they, progress throughout the program and their years in high school. But if you're getting on the court as a freshman, you obviously are doing something right.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You coaches like what they see with you, and you need to go out there in games like this and see out there. That was, as a coach, I know what the score says, but that was a ill-advised attempt at that pass. Luckily, it went out of bounds. Jasper retains it, but he needs to learn to ball fake and make the bounce pass. And the biggest thing that these kids and this isn't a good example because they're playing against Washington's JVs, but the thing that these kids from Jasper that are out there now that they don't realize and know is how much faster the varsity game is, how much faster and quicker it is than what the JV game is. So they're not going to get a good feel for that tonight because they're playing against guys that are basically in the same position they are. And that's the biggest adjustment that kids have going from the JV level to the varsity level is the game's a lot quicker and it's a lot more physical.
Nevertheless, still a good opportunity. So if you're Jasper, you have got to love what you've seen tonight as he'll hit the back end of that, the 2 shots. That's Jace Foy with that one. Washington has it, 1:45 to go. Jasper the 57-21 lead. Inside to Krager, he'll put it up and in. He's got 5 points here late in this game. Didn't see much time early. He didn't see any time early on until the mass substitution happened, but he's taking advantage of an opportunity. He might be playing his way into a little bit more.
And that's what kids got to do. I mean, they have to, show the coach what you can do if you get the opportunity.
Missed shot for Jasper. Washington coming away, 1:10 to go. Meredith has it, drives in.
Travel.
Another Washington turnover as Meredith travels, 57-23 Jasper. Clock still running. 50 seconds to go. Well, they didn't beat their score of holding Southridge to 22, but 23 so far is not too bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Day hit
another 3 for him. Off the front rim and then the backboard and in. That's 2 threes for him here in the 4th. 25 to go. Meredith takes a 3. He'll rim it no good. And Jasper will likely just dribble this out from here on.
Yeah.
They're going to pick up their 7th win on the season. Here on the road in a pretty tough environment here in the Hatchet House. Part of coming here to the Hatchet House is that it's a little bit different than a lot of gyms. You've got a lot more space behind the backboard. Sometimes it can be hard to adjusting to shoot in here. And Jasper, no issues.
Yeah, I thought overall, we came out and we played well outside the first couple minutes of the game. I thought we picked up the defensive intensity, and that I had that as one of the keys to tonight's game was that we needed to play defense like we did the other night against Southridge, and I felt like we did. We forced them into a lot of tough looks, tough shots. And again, it goes back to what we said, the physicality that Jasper plays defense, a lot of teams don't see that and they're not used to that. And I think that's kind of what happened to Washington tonight, especially with those young guys. Knighting's probably the only one that had played against Jasper previously, much minutes anyways. So, these young guys, they had no idea what to expect when Jasper got after them on defense. So
this game kind of reminded me, well, not score-wise, but I actually had a relative who played for Bar Eve State Championship team in 2021, and when they played Jasper that year, it took him a buzzer-beating 3 to beat him, and he just mentioned how Jasper was just such a tough team and how physical they were, and how that, Bar Eve was a very talented team that year, but I think Jasper wasn't even having a very good year.
Yeah,
that physicality just made it a game.
Yeah, that's a trademark for Coach Gable's teams is, he's going to have kids out there that want to get after it on the defensive end. If you don't want to play defense, he doesn't care how good of offensive player you are. If you don't want to play defense, you can sit on the bench. So I think, he does a very good job of instilling the defense first mentality. And, it's starting to show this year a little bit with some of these games here of late as to how they've played the defensive end.
Yeah, anytime you have an athletic team that can defend, you're going to be a pretty good team in high school. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Defense goes a long way in any basketball game, but especially in high school games. kids aren't as good as shooters when somebody's in their face. They're not as good at ball handlers when somebody's up there guarding them close. There's just a lot of things that play into the game of basketball if you can get after it on the defensive end.
All right, well, we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back for final scoring here on 18 WJTS. We'd like to thank you for listening so far. The final score, Jasper 60, Washington 23. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back here to the Hatchet House for the final time tonight as the Jasper Wildcats take care of business here, and we're joined by head coach John Gable. Coach, tell us a little bit about, what were you most proud of the team tonight? I mean, it was a heck of a defensive effort.
Well, just a few games back, we were beaten over at Vincennes, and I think it was a good wake-up call for us. I think since that point, we've been more focused. We've been better practice players, better listeners, better teammates, and I think the last 3 games since then, we've won double digits. So, but I've been coming to the Hatchet House for 21 years as a head coach, and never experienced this before. Now, part of it would also be, Washington did play on the road last night at Boonville, and we had a Friday night off, and that was a factor. But I think the biggest factor was we moved the ball well, we shot the ball well, and we defended exceptionally well.
Would you say that Vincennes game kind of lit a little bit of a fire underneath your guys, because you never want to lose to Vincennes, but when you do, you just kind of have to move on from it and learn from it. And since then, you guys have been playing really good ball.
Well, it helped them grow up a little bit. It helped them realize that we can lose to anybody on our schedule. And not to take anything away from Vincennes, they were a one-win team when they beat us, but they had lost to some really good teams. But we went in there with the attitude, because our record was better than theirs, we were going to walk onto the floor and beat them, and they show us that's not the case. And so I think it just helped us be a little more serious and a little more focused.
So 22 points against Southridge, which you held them to, 23 points tonight. Are you ever going to let another team score over 30 on you?
Well, we hope not. But, yes, we've got we've been defending well. And there's I don't want to take anything away from our guys, but we have a tough schedule ahead of us, and there's going to be nights. And the basketball is a funny sport. Sometimes it comes down to something as simple as a team shooting the ball well and a team not shooting the ball well. And Washington didn't shoot the ball real well tonight, and that was a big factor.
Well, I would say a huge factor of Washington not shooting the ball well is I don't know if they had an open shot from midway through the first quarter on. So, I mean, that's a huge test to your guys' defense, to say the least. But offensively, you guys were pretty balanced. Who are you most proud of tonight?
Well, I can't just pick one of them, but, this is a couple of games in a row, though, where our leading scorer, Carter Mundy, hasn't had to score. And early, Carter, he's our leading scorer. He's a two-year leading scorer for us now, but he actually passed up some shots early in the game to get a better shot from somebody else, and I thought that's a sign of maturity. And obviously, when we have other guys who are able to produce, that makes us more difficult to defend.
Okay, so on to Forest Park next weekend, and then is it Harrison also, right?
Right. We have Forest Park at home for homecoming, and then Harrison on Saturday night at home as well.
Okay, so
which is a conference game. So.
Yeah, huge game against Harrison, of course. Also another county rivalry against Forest Park.
And those are the games we look forward to the most, actually, other than sectional time, is playing Southridge and Forest Park and Northeast DuBois. They seem to be our biggest crowds, and the games have the most meaning because of the local rivalry.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Coach, for coming up here and talking to us after a really, really good win. 60-23, this Washington team probably had never felt this kind of defensive pressure, at least this year so far. And, I got to say that just that toughness that you guys brought out here tonight was fun to watch, and we look forward to you guys continuing to play well throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, I appreciate the comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Coach. That was head coach John Gable of your Jasper Wildcats. We'll take a break. We'll be right back here on WJTS. All right, now we are back for a final time here on WJTS. We'll run through the final scoring for Washington. Not many points were scored, but leading the way for them, I believe it was Dalton Thurston and Colton Stowers with 6 apiece. Coming off the bench and scoring 5 late in the game. I think of his name all of a sudden. Olson Krager came in and had 5 off the bench. Cooper Wright with 2, Bryson Knighty with 2, Cordell Turner with 2. And on the Jasper, the scoring was pretty balanced. We saw Carter Mundy 4, Grant Young with 2 threes and a free throw for 7. But I thought he really played a good ball game, even though despite he only had 7 points.
And that's kind of Grant's role. It's to score a little bit, but it's to be the floor leader out there, and he does a good job of that.
And then Kabrick had 9 points. Will Wallace had 5. Griffin Heil with 10 actually. He made one free throw late. Braden Giesler with 5. Andrew Noblet off the bench had 11 points. And then a couple of youngsters, Day with 6 and Boutel with 2. So, like we said, really balanced scoring. We got to see some young guys at the end kind of come in for Jasper. And
yeah, win-win. Good night tonight. You know, when you only play one game a weekend, you want to make sure you win that one, and that's what Jasper came in, took care of business, and now you got all week to prepare for 2 games next week against Forest Park on Friday and Harrison, I believe, on Saturday, and I think both of them are at home. So, you know, it'd be nice to have a doubleheader at home next Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, so absolutely dominating win for the Wildcats here in the Hatchet House, 60-23. That'll be all for us here at WJTS. I'm Kaleb Knepp with Jason Stamm. Thank you so much for tuning in.